Hi, everybody. Very warm welcome to all our viewers. This is Hassan Shariq from Toronto and Adnan Khalid from Calgary, Canada, welcoming you in episode number 12 of Immigration Buzz by Adnan and Shariq, our weekly live show on Canadian immigration, immigrant life for new immigrants in Canada. I hope all of you, wherever you are in the world, are doing really well along with your families. Moving on to our regular stream of PNP options. This time around, we have a slight change where it's not technically a PNP program. It's more like a regional um, nomination program or pilot program. But this is a program for which we've had a lot of queries coming in. A lot of people are interested in this. So we thought that we'll add this as part of the PNP stream. And that is the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program. So as our show format is that first we will talk about the pilot program for 15, 20 minutes. We'll have a brief overview. All of you are more than welcome to post your questions. And at the end, we will take the live questions and comments that we have. So starting off with that, I'll hand it over to Adnan. Adnan, how are you doing?
I'm fine, Hassan. Thank you so much. And yes, today is an interesting one of discussing about Atlantic. This is a very famous program going all over the world. People are interested because of its unique requirements it has, especially on the language side. So we will go into this in deeper, little bit, give you more information about it, and I hope you will enjoy this particular one. Okay, so let's first of all, this is one of my favorite slide to show where the province are located. So if you can see, let me zoom in a little bit to give a better idea. So anywhere where you see this golden arrow, so these are the province. So in Atlantic, there are four provinces that covered into this. So one is the Newfoundland and Labrador. Second is Prince Edward Island, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick. So this is the eastern part of Canada, which is the Atlantic provinces here. So interestingly, I hope this will give you a little bit more idea. It's not a smaller, very small territory somewhere located, I don't know where in the part of a globe, but it is here on the eastern side of Canada, just next to Quebec and Ontario. Okay. All right. So let's take you to the next slide. Another very favorite slide of ours, giving you a little bit of research on that, on the employment rate and what is happening. So if you can see on the left side, these are the Atlantic provinces. Now, surprisingly, the unemployment is higher in these provinces. It's above the national average. So Newfoundland and Labrador is standing at 13.1, Prince Edward Island at 11.3, Nova Scotia and 8, and New Brunswick at 9.3. So this gives you a little bit of idea like what's happening overall in these provinces. So kind of yes, of course this program is linked with the job requirement, and it also gives you an idea of the current stats, what is happening in these particular four provinces. All right, so I will go to the next one. These are the three programs that fall into Atlantic immigration. One is the Atlantic International Graduate Program for students. The second is Atlantic High Skilled Programs for the professions under NOC O, A, and B. And the third one is Atlantic Intermediate Skill Program. That is for NOC C, not D, only NOC C. That is an important thing to remember here. Okay. Let's go into a little bit more detail. Now, here is the eligibility requirement for Atlantic provinces. This is the what I usually do in this particular one table. I know there is a lot of information around the websites and everything. I try to consolidate that and place it into a tabular format, easy to understand, and make comparison also simultaneously. So for these three programs, which I just mentioned in the previous slide, so express entry profile not required in these three. So that is a unique part of Atlantic. Connection to the province is only required for this Atlantic International Graduate Program for students, and the connection in the sense because they need to be complete the study from the Atlantic province in the public institutions, publicly recognized institutions. So that is another unique part here. All right, coming to the other two, Atlantic High Skill Program Intermediate, you do not need to have a connection. You do not have to have a work experience in the province. It can be internationally, it can be outside. So that is also a good part of it here. Job offer, yes, that is a must requirement of Atlantic Province. You need to have a job offer for all these three streams. Even for students, you need to have a job offer. So even if you graduated from the university, you still need to have a job offer in place. And also, these job offers has to be from the Atlantic employers, not from other parts of the Canada. So it needs to be from these provinces. All right. For now, the only difference part in this high skilled and intermediate skilled is just the knock description here. So if you are like on a managerial position and high management side professional, then you need to fall into high skilled program compared to the intermediate skill, which is for knock C only. But the requirements are same. It's just how they differentiate between the job duties and stuff. Language proficiency CLB4 for all three. Now this is another unique part. People got excited about it because yeah, it's not like CLB7 we need to take as per the express entry program. It's just CLB4. That's really low.
Low.
So
Yeah.
it's almost, you can say, scoring IELTS 4 in all four, except I
Yeah.
think one is 4.5 and the other is 3.5, but on average you can say it's IELTS band 4 requirement only. Level of education for international graduate program, you have to complete at least 2 years of degree in the Atlantic province. That is an important, and also from publicly funded institution, not from the
Yeah.
private colleges. Something it's need to be recognized in the Atlantic provinces. Then you can actually fall into this particular stream. For high skilled, you need to have diploma and above. So it means basically higher studies than high school, one step more. So that is the requirement for high skilled. But for intermediate, high school is fine as a minimum requirement. Now, coming to work experience for international graduate program, you do not need any work experience, which makes sense because you are just coming out of the university and you don't have any experience, but you have a job offer, so you can avail the opportunity in this particular stream. High skilled program, you need to have at least 12 months of work experience in the last 3 years. That is also one of the condition which make it unique. So you need to have an experience of 1 year in the last 3 years, not 5 years, not 10 years like FSW program. This is in the last 3 years. And this is the same requirement for the intermediate skill program. Only the difference is the profession or the job duties is different as per NOC O, A, and B, and then NOC C. Age requirement not specified. It's not mentioned on the website. It's not a requirement, so it could be any age if you avail this opportunity, which make this one more appealing to people who are of particular high age, especially above 50, and they are in a managerial position. So they particularly got interested into these programs, and we have seen that trend going on from overseas as well. Income settlement funds are required in all three categories. Even for students, you need to make sure you have that support funds available. There is no other way. Like, this is a must requirement for Atlantic provinces. So in general, like, you can see that very high level, just focusing on salient features of these three programs and comparing simultaneously, it gives you an idea what Atlantic province is. Now, I know most of the people will be thinking about it. Okay, so how we are going to get a job offer? Alrighty, yeah, that's a very nice question. Let's jump to the next slide on that. These are the most used websites in Canada when someone is looking for jobs in Atlantic provinces. Canada Job Bank is the number one for the people who are already in the express entry pool. They love to use this website. They're already registered. They can update their profile, see what is matching with their skill set, approach them. The second is Employment Central. The third is Indeed, and the number fourth is LinkedIn. Now the fourth one also, like, it gives you more opportunity to connect with the employers or the leads, where you can create a networking opportunity as well to avail the offers. And most of the time, I have seen people who are applying into this particular province, they start with the LinkedIn profile, like they try to start making connections with some of the people who are already on the job in Canada, and then they move forward slowly from there. So these are the four important websites if you want to start your hunt on that. But make sure that once you start looking into Atlantic provinces, make sure you maintain these requirements first. You do not want to have a surprise once you have a job offer, you do not meet the other requirements. So make sure you do a very basic step of due diligence and then jump onto your job hunt thing and then come back and see and how it will work. So this is a very briefly, in 10 minutes we have wrapped Atlantic immigration program for your ease of understanding. We will look forward for your question, but I will give a chance to Hassan now to please add anything if I missed here.
Yeah, thank you, Adnan. Very concise and to the point. Few things that I'd just like to highlight in what you've discussed is first, very important thing to keep in mind is that see, a lot of people only look at Atlantic pilot program with a bird's eye view that okay, this is one particular program, but then there are three different streams into it, and that's where the whole concept of planning comes in because see they have a specific stream for graduates, graduates who completed their study within one of these provinces. So a lot of queries that we get to have for study permit applicants, they ask as to where they would where they should study. So that's where such programs come into picture. See, if you complete your study in Canada, there's options that you'll have in the federal streams. Then there are options that, like, if somebody studies completes their study in the Atlantic provinces, the benefit is that they'll have the option of federal programs. They'll have the PR pathways for the particular PNP of the province that they studied in. So, say for instance, if it's Nova Scotia, um, uh, they could have the PNP relevant to that, and then they would be eligible for these um, options, like if it's Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program in this case. So again, very important to plan it in a way that you take benefit of this. Number one. Number two, one very important thing that Adnan highlighted, that there is a requirement to show settlement funds. Now, usually when you have a job offer, that's not a requirement for the federal programs because you have a job offer. But this is important because sometimes what happens is that people pursue that job offer within the Atlantic provinces, but when it comes to the final PR application, they are missing out on this. This is also the case with Saskatchewan, Dan, and your license for Saskatchewan. You know that sometimes people don't really maintain their funds for 6 months. They get an invitation and then they realize that they have to provide proof for 6 months. So exactly similar in AIPP, proof of funds, very important. You should work on that. Lastly, what Adnan has mentioned about the job offer in terms of the ways to look for job. Yes, it is not all that easy to land into a job, but trust me, for people with the right skill set, first in the profession that they have, and also the right skill set to connect with employers and pitch yourself. A lot of people have a lot of experience. They have 8 to 10 years of work experience. Their CV is brilliant, but they do not have the skills to really do the job hunt the way it is supposed to be, and that's why they miss out on opportunities. Myself and Nan, we get to have these queries, if not on a daily, probably on a weekly basis, where some clients write to us that they have already got a job offer and now they would want to proceed, but sometimes they've not done this background work. So it's quite possible to have a job offer even if you're not in Canada. Also, because we as licensed immigration advisors in Canada, our clientele is not just outside of Canada, but there's a lot of people who are in Canada. So for people who are maybe graduates in other provinces and maybe they're struggling to look for PR pathways, this is a great opportunity for you. If you have transferable skills, like you worked in some province in Canada, maybe BC, maybe Ontario, somewhere else, you could look at options of AIPP. That's a bit of like addition that I wanted to do into what Adnan has mentioned. Adnan, anything else on this before we move on towards the questions and comments?
I think let's start taking questions. It will give opportunity to elaborate more. Again,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
something is missed.
yeah. So we have Faisal, Faisal, who's a regular attendee, and he's himself deep into Canadian immigration. So he always asks really focused question. Adnan is asking, when will we do a session on Manitoba? Adnan, I've been
Let's
pushing
make.
you for that.
I know you are asking me for a long time, and the reason, Faisal, first of all, thank you so much for joining the show today. So the reason of delaying two particular provinces, one is British Columbia and one is Manitoba, is these two are very broad province to cover. Like they have programs and it's like more complicated, so we do not want to rush it. We want to give ample amount of time to every province we covered. And we know that we are only left with two province, if I'm not mistaken. We have covered all other PNPs. We are going to do that soon, because we are in already in a sequence of completing it. So if not the coming week, maybe a week after, we will be completing the Manitoba as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's Faisal. That's something that I've been asking Adnan a lot. But we're trying to work in a certain sequence where we are able to cover each of the PNP programs in a comprehensive way, at least where there is value for viewers. So we deliberately kept that for the later part. But soon you will be able to see that. Again, it's Faisal asking the question, and that's more to do with our topic for today. And that is, as per eligibility criteria, Faisal's point of view is that this program is more suitable for people studying in this region. What is because of the job offer thing, and he's asking for our opinion on that. Adnan, what's your
Yeah.
take? And then
So my take is, once you complete your education in Canada, and specifically in these provinces, your chances of getting hired increase twofold. Like, you have no idea how easy it is for students to jump into these particular jobs. It's easy. And especially, one small tip I can give you here: if you have selected a course which requires a co-op work permit with it, so that increase your chances more, because then your university will arrange interviews with the employers, and there is a very good chance that they will be retained once they complete their work shadow or co-op requirement. So yes, definitely a very good route to take, um, for this particular province, if you study one of the approved university in Atlantic province.
yeah. Yeah, Faisal, as like my opinion on this is that, as Adnan mentioned, so see, you have to see look at the policy framework behind each of these immigration pilot, each of the immigration streams or categories that Government of Canada comes with. Um, uh, and there is a lot of emphasis on using the international student program in Canada for being the feeder programs for various immigration categories. The public sector institutions, be it colleges or universities in the Atlantic provinces, definitely offer programs more focused towards the requirement, the economic requirements of that region. So students who complete their studies in these institutions within those provinces definitely have a greater chance first. Most likely, they will be doing programs that are required. And as Adnan mentioned, also the fact that if you like many of Canadian programs, and this is a hallmark of Canadian education, where we offer co-op opportunities. This is unheard of anywhere else, where during your studies you can actually take a pause in your study and do full-time paid work. So by the time you graduate, you and I know for bachelor's programs, this is like a 1 year co-op that universities offer. So you by the time you graduate, you have full-time work experience of 12 months, which will increase your employability. And if you've done good enough work for that particular employer, it's highly likely that once you have your degree completed and you have the work rights, you'll get a job offer. So definitely a great opportunity for students who complete their study from within these institutions. But again, I would say that it's not that people from outside of Canada do not get job offers for AIPP or any other program. On a daily basis, there are people. If you just want some evidence, keep in mind that just in last about 12 months, there were more than 200,000 work permits issued for people from outside of Canada. So all these people are people from various parts of the world that Canadian employers required, and they were supported with LMIAs, or in some cases LMIA was not required, but they were offered jobs and they got work permits. So this is a very healthy number. That means that people are able to find jobs from outside of Canada. It is just how you are able to sell your skills. And do keep in mind that if you're not from a profession which is very specialized, then definitely the competition is going to be more, and then you have to sell yourself in a better manner compared with other folks. I think, Adnan, that's all the questions and comments that we have for today.
I think one more came from Faisal. Just cause of you guys. Thank you so much, Faisal, for appreciating that. And yeah, please feel free to share with your friends, family members who are interested in to know more about the programs. Like, of course, it will help them as well to get the idea up in hand. And if they have any questions, of course, they can post on the comments. And me and Shariq are very active, like usually responding to comments, and we will definitely try to help and give information what is required here. Yes, Hassan. So I think we have answered all the questions, so we should take a leave then.
Uh, Thank you so much for all those who joined the session, be it for a brief time or till the end. We are appreciative of the fact that people provide their comments and feedback, and we really encourage you to keep doing that. Do share these videos with others as well, so that other people who are interested in these topics can get to know more. With that, we'll ask for leave with the prayers that wherever you are, you and your family stay well, and we'll see you in a week's time. And as usual, before we leave, we'll leave you with a small video on the beautiful Canadian landscape. Take care and bye bye for now.